used to chase the daylight, I used to chase the miles. Now the winter's in my body and the road has lost its smile.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hobo Yeti here. That's not working anyway. Lots of things to talk about today. Not all of them fun. Some of them are fun, I guess. I just wanted to give you an update. I know that I said I was only going to be posting one video every Thursday, and I still plan on doing that, but I'm not making that much. Basically, from what I understand, the ad revenue, like across the board for other content creators, is plummeting, half of what you would have gotten before. And so I don't know if that's because of my content, my political stance, I don't know. Or maybe maybe my content that was rated, the slideshows, maybe that was rated, low effort sort of videos. So whatever. I gotta deal with the reality of it, and I can change, how I do the channel at another time. But right now, I've got to make some money for next month, right? So let's talk about a few things. So I don't know if you guys are aware of this. To get to my channel page, for those of you who don't know, you can click on HoboRoad 3.0 Survival and Freedom and Survival Mode, right? And that'll bring you to my channel page, and up at the top it has all these links. I'm going to actually change that to a link tree because it's just too many links now. But yeah, so basically I'd like to talk about some features of the website that are happening now that have not been there before, okay? So I've got memberships now, which really help keep me afloat, keep me doing the channel. It's like $2 a month subscription. You just hit the, down there somewhere, I think. I can't even see my finger. There it is. Nope, there. Anyway, the join. And you don't get much, basically it's just supporting me and helping me out a little bit. If enough people can do it, then it makes my life a lot easier. So far, not many people, but that's why I'm bringing it to your attention. Basically, you get like a little, depending on how long you're a member, you get like a little, an icon type or emoji next to your name of a raccoon. And they change colors, the longer you're there. You also get some custom emojis, which I'm working on. I made them a little too detailed, so they're hard to see. I'm reworking those, but that's on my list, right? So if you can join that $2 a month, I don't even get $1. I think I get because YouTube takes 30%. So what am I getting? $1.40 or no? Yeah, out of that. So but every little bit helps. It's also this month I was kind of like looking at okay, I was 2 weeks into the month and I was like, okay, I'm not $200, that's really not going to do it. So I started, and I had also put out the book, right? In case you guys didn't know, I put out a book called The Weight of Silence and the Meaning of Salt, and it's sort of the emotional balance of things that we as homeless folk have to go through on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, the perpetual grief of mourning a life that, we no longer have, but also, dealing with that on a day-to-day basis is hard. And so that's what I talk about in there. If you guys can, go to my channel page, click on the book link, or go to my website, which I had to do, funnily enough, I had to do that to get verified with Google Play Books. Put that out there. I had the domain name for a while, right? But I just went ahead and did like a Wix site, and I still got to add a lot of stuff to the Wix site to make it fully functional. But you can click on the book page, and then you click on the Get Book. It'll take you to Lulu, but you can also go to Google Play Books and type in The Weight of Silence and the Meaning of Salt in the search field, and it'll bring you to that same kind of place where you can purchase the book. And basically, if you get it on lulu.com, basically you just download it, or you'll buy it, and then it'll send you a link to your email. You'll click on the link, it'll take you to do the download thing, and then when you can open it up in Google Play Books if you have Android, or if you have a what do you call it, a iPhone, it'll open up. It's an EPUB, so it'll open up in Apple Books, and you can read it from there. So there's that. Let's see. I do plan on doing an audiobook for it this month. That's on my list. I'm trying to keep myself busy. I don't know if you guys can tell. While I've got this energy from the Wellbutrin, or this kind of, things are kind of in motion. Like, I'm trying to keep that momentum going, even though I'm not really getting, not really making any money with the website and stuff. It's keeping my mind kind of focused and solid and grounded, and it's giving me a little bit of hope, that all of this effort that I'm putting in now, or today, or this week, or this month, or whatever, is going to pay dividends in the future, long term. And so maybe that's true, maybe that's not, but for right now, it's something to keep myself focused on. So the audiobook will be coming. The printed version, I know some of you have expressed the possibility of, if I have a printed version out there, you'll purchase it. The problem is like just making the ebook was a lot of work. Not just writing it, but then formatting it and submitting it and all that stuff. The audiobook is going to be, I'm going to do it through 11 Labs with my voice, my cloned voice, so that shouldn't be too difficult. It's going to still take probably a week or two before I get that out. The printed book, they require a lot more, to make it work right for print. And I probably will still do it, but I haven't really received any feedback on the book as a whole. One or two people have reached out to me. They're surprised that the book is the writing is good. So I take that as a comment, or a compliment. Sorry, but I'm proud of it. It is kind of a serious book. It's not the humorous kind. But if a lot of if I get more sales on the book, then I'll definitely consider doing a printed version. But that's down the road. Right now, I'm focused on this month, or within the next 2 months, putting out the audio version and getting that get up on it won't be on Audible or Kindle or anything. It's going to be on Google Play Books. Okay, so there's that. Let's see, the shop. So if you click on, I think there's a shop. Okay, the shop is basically, it's connected to YouTube. So if you click on the shop button or whatever, or you scroll over, like it has videos and this and that and community posts. One of those tabs is going to be like a shop. And also I posted a link last week with some of the designs that I'd created with AI. Like one of them is Paranoid Hobo, one of them's Techno Hobo, one was a picture of my beautiful mug. This just says HoboRoad, and then there's another one I can't remember. Oh, Paranoid Techno, and I don't know, one of the other. Anyway, and I've added some designs since then. We'll see how that goes. But basically and I'm not sure, I don't think it's going to be like a print screened kind of thing. I still have yet to order one myself. I think it's like the iron-ons we used to have as kids, where it's like this, a square of stuff that's heat impressed into a section and stuff like that. So, but there are some hoodies and some beanies and stuff like that there. So if you want to promote, the brand HoboRoad, then that's a good place to go. And it's got some pretty decent art. It took me a good long time to come up with some of those. They're just, I swear, like 90% of the time I deal with any kind of AI, it's just so frustrating doing the prompts and over and forgetfulness of the AI, and it's exhausting, really. But every now and again, it puts out some really good stuff, and then, then that's good. Let's see. So check that out. And like I said, I plan on redoing my links and all that, and I'll put that in a link tree, and I'll put the link tree link on YouTube so that you can click on that, and I'll bring up all the stuff. So it doesn't just look like this blah. Like I said, HoboRoad, I'll be updating soon. Patreon, I've had Patreon for, I don't know, two and a half years or something, maybe 2 years. And I put it up there, and basically I said, if people want to donate to me, great, but like there's no behind the scenes. This is behind the scenes, right? The life I'm living is behind the scenes. It's under the carpet. It's being swept under the carpet, and that's where I am, you know? And so I don't really have any content. So there have been a few people that have been with me for a while there that just have not, that they've just been donating a couple of bucks a month to me, and I appreciate that, you know, that helps take the edge off. And, you know, other people send me donations too, you know, and I appreciate that very much. Let's see, but I do plan on doing more with Patreon. Patreon's going to be, I thought about starting a second channel where I could talk about, because, you know, this stuff with the government and the human rights of homeless people, and we'll talk a little bit about that later here in this, but they're just kind of being swept under the rug. And the thing is there's certain, like, there are only certain things I can talk about on YouTube, honestly. With, you know, the thing is, I'm not promoting any of this, but there are certain keywords that get you flagged and stuff. And then, not only that, but I don't know if you guys noticed, like you might type in a comment about something, and it gets deleted or it gets blocked, right? Well, what's happening there is I put up, you know, you guys remember the whole troll thing where I kind of put up all these keywords to block stuff, but I went in there and went kind of overboard with the keywords to block or to hold them or whatever. And I did that because I, like, instead of getting rid of comments altogether, I just block some stuff. Like if you say the word trash in the video or in your comment, it's going to get blocked. It's going to go into that place. Now, I try to go through those now and again, but it's not really a you know, a thing. So, you know, and yes, maybe you could work your way around it by phrasing it differently. I don't know. But then I'll usually catch it if somebody tries to work around that and says something super negative, kind of hate, spewing hate and stuff. So, but anyway, so that's with the comments. But the Patreon is, I plan on doing videos there, and either I'm probably just going to upload them directly to Patreon, just because I want something separate of, like, I don't want all my eggs in one basket, right? I want to have, you know, I don't know. I just worry sometimes that, you know, I'll get some bad comments that I won't catch in time, and then I'll get like shadow banned, and then, you know, my whole content, all of my money just, you know, my account gets banned or shadow banned or whatever, and suddenly I don't have a revenue stream, and, you know, so I would like to have eggs in different baskets, right? So that makes sense. I do plan on putting out another book. I've kind of tremulously been working on it, and it's going to be Homeless Survival 101, and it's going to be a humorous thing. I know that my other book was very serious, and I think it needed to be put out there. I think, you know, it hasn't really sold very, very well, you know, but like I said, I'm very proud of it, and I think it needs to be out there. But anyway, the next book is going to be about homeless survival. I'm going to go with that gallows humor throughout, sarcasm, and just something fun, right? And something shorter. Just kind of a small, probably like 20,000 words or something. But there's that. YouTube in general, the direction I'm going with, like I said, I know that I was falling asleep, like here at 11:30, and I was just like, I couldn't keep my eyes open. I don't know, lethargic, whatever. But then I took my morning pills. I have a pill carrier, right? And it just helps because I take 2 omeprazole, I take aspirin some mornings, I take iron pills and magnesium pills, and it's just easier to keep it that way. I just open it up and gobble, right? So I'm feeling a little bit hyped, which is good, because I need to be. I'm going to do some laundry later on today. I cleaned up my tent a little bit. It's hard to keep your tent clean, especially when it's a 7 by 4 foot area, and everything you own is in here, you know? anyway, the direction that I'm going with the channel, I want to try to keep it more grounded on talking head stuff. That does not mean I'm getting rid of the my radio voice slideshow type stuff. I still enjoy doing those, but I'm going to try to make it more grounded. I'm worried that there's this whole term going around, being authentic. It almost reminds me of when the word hipster was going around. I don't know. It seems. I know they're trying to be original, unique, and use the word authentic, but it seems like it's becoming a buzzword almost, And so, but the thing is they did crack down on AI uses and low effort. My slideshows are not low effort. It actually takes longer for me to do those videos than to, I'm reading my. These are my notes, right? And I'm going down one by one. I can be more focused in the ones that I have scripted and that I'm doing the monologue with, but and I can incorporate more humor there, but that's okay. That's okay. And I don't know if that's affecting it or not. It might just be a low month, but like I said, I need to, especially going into October, November. Well, October is like tomorrow, right? But like October, November, December, January, February, those are the next 6 months it's just going to get cold. It rained today overnight, and it rained pretty good, which is so unusual. It's been, 3 or 4 months it hasn't rained at all, right? So, but I need to prepare. I need to have the gear that I need. And yes, I could get lesser gear. Like this gear is a gear top, right? This tent is a gear top, and it's pretty awesome. I've had this thing 4 or 5 months now, and the zippers still work, and that doesn't happen on most tents. So, loving it, but I need to get some new gear, and I plan on getting that, which is why I'm doing this video today, and when I go to do laundry, I will upload it, or edit it and upload it, whatever. Anyway, 17 minutes gone. Okay, let's keep going. So I'm just gonna, I don't always have a plan for the videos. Basically, the 4 videos a month talking head. That's like I'm trying to attain that sort of as a bare minimum. Some of you like my slideshows. Some of you like my talking head. And I try to do both, and I'm gonna try to do both. But if a lot of times if it gets to the end of the month and I realize that I've only made $200. It's $250 or whatever at the end of that month, I'm gonna start putting out more videos in hopes that will get equal watch time. I think the thing is I've thought about doing shorts and stuff, but I just don't think my YouTube shorts, you get a different kind of instant gratification sort of thing. You guys, my subscribers, are predominantly over 50, and that's good. Gen Xers and my peer group, right? And if I was sitting at home, I would not be if I had a home, right? Right now I'm doing this, but on the phone. But if I was in a home, I would have a TV, and if I was watching YouTube videos, I would do it on the TV, and then just do a playlist or something and let it go, right? And then just listen to all of it while I'm and then have it running in the background. And I've done that with playlists, right? With music and stuff like that. And yeah, the ads will come on. I don't even notice the ads after a while. Maybe they hit me in a subconscious way. I don't know. And I think that's where I'm getting a lot of the ad watch time, but maybe that's not happening as much. So I need to find other ways to make money, right? So anyway, but let's see. Comment. So yeah, I already talked about that. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is, well, first of all, I'm going to move my tent. I don't know if I told you that. I've been trying to move my tent for the last week and a half, right? The thing is after I did that last video, I went back into the bush back here, and it's it's like what Lewis and Clark must have experienced going through the bush, right? Because it's like there's no paths. It's just broken branches and bushes and thorns, and just like, I mean, there's nowhere to walk. You got to cut yourself a path the entire way back here. And I did find some little glades that were kind of in the middle of that, like real small ones. And I was thinking, wow, this would be perfect for, because it's far enough back. I'm still too close to the road right now. You can probably hear the cars, right? But it would be like, and I could make sort of a circuitous route to get here, and then I could find a way down there to get out of here, because I don't like always having to come off the sidewalk. As you know, you kind of develop, you build a trail when you're walking. By the very impact of your feet pushing down stuff over time, it creates an issue. So I'd like to have multiple entry and exit points. So social commentary. We all heard about the General Assembly. The General Assembly, you get that? Okay. So basically, Trump had all the generals in the military come and sit in the auditorium, and he just talked to them and stuff. So you get it, General Assembly? Okay. Anyway, whatever. And one of the things he said, talking about enemies from within, and he's still using the Secretary of War crap. I don't understand that. I'm not going to go too much into this here, but he said he wants to use dangerous cities as training grounds for our armed forces, right? And I get that that a lot of people are really upset because, if he had said that, if you take that out of context, if you take that just from what he said, it's not a big deal. Of course, we train our military with our civilian, on within the U.S. borders all the time, right? We have boot camp and we have training, right? But like the fact that he just last week said we're, we're sending troops to Portland, and if you're authorized to use excessive force and just stuff like that. That's just putting two to two together, and a lot of people are seeing that. I think in a lot of ways the country's divided, but in this instance, yes, I could take it and think he's talking about waging war on America. I don't know, but I don't like it. So basically, I told you guys when I did that last other video, I think Saturday or something. I told you that the troops are coming to Portland, and 200 of them did show up, and but so far I haven't heard anything good or bad about it. I mean, 2 guys got arrested or whatever, but there's always bad seeds out there, right? Trying to, I don't know, whatever. But in our country, there's definitely an air of uncertainty, and it's the thing. I live kind of further out. I don't live in Portland proper. I live in one of the satellite cities close by, the metro area, and so I don't. And I live in the bush, right? I live in the woods and stuff. So, and I live alone. So unless somebody sees me, like I'm just an unknown quotient, right? And so, anyway, but let's see. The thing that bothered me last week is, I was worried about the troops coming to Portland. Muscogee Land, one of the subscribers here has been on the channel a while. He's in, I think, Tulsa, and he's been telling me, Operation Safe, and they're doing it here. They're shelter jailing people for being homeless, and they're just whatever. And the thing is it's one thing to hear that and be like, yeah, I empathize with you, but then when it hits your front yard, your backyard, your front yard, you're like, whoa, now I get it. Now I get the urgency about it, right? Something's got to be done. So I feel kind of bad that I didn't really feel that previously, but I think that's kind of the nature of the beast, right? So let's talk about the homeless for a minute. Homeless, are there bad homeless? Yes, there are. Are there tweakers, druggies, alcoholics, thieves, criminals? Sure, there are. And probably there's probably more of those than if you were to, I mean, homelessness is a juxtaposition. It's a if you take the homeless and put it side by side next to the housed, then the homeless are a reflection of that the housed folks, right? And sure, that's important is an important distinction. But a lot of people get homeless and they don't get back out, right? And even if you start out not doing drugs, at some point you're probably going to do drugs just to escape the, And I'm pretty straight-laced in a lot of ways. I mean, I don't mind smoking weed, but like I haven't smoked weed since I've been here. I did last year. I bought like a cheap bottle of rum to kind of just help me with and then it took me like, I don't know, 3 months to go through it. That was a little one, but I don't know. The thing is here's what bothers me. I'm gonna tell you what bothers me. So basically, Trump called Portland war-ravaged, right? And you guys have seen all these videos that like, oh, we're war-ravaged? Well, this is what war-ravaged looks like. And it shows just a normal day in Portland, right? So, obviously, Trump was using hyperbole, exaggerating, just kind of making stuff up, right? To make his, I don't know what he's doing. But the thing is because of that, when the troops did come here, the 200 troops that did come, and they're in Southeast Portland, they're in an ICE facility or whatever, the Portlandites, 200 of them got together and went to that ICE facility to protest, right? Okay, nothing wrong with that. Could we say that there are some illegals that are bad news and some that are hard workers? Yes, I've met a lot of illegals in my life and the kind of jobs that I've done. Some are bad, I'm sure, but most are just hardworking from Mexico coming over, But like the thing is just because I have met some bad criminal element sort of, illegals does not mean I judge all illegals, right? Or, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't just say, oh, they're all bad. Well, it's kind of like, if you have even if you have 6 bad eggs in a carton, like they're all cracked or messed up or sour or whatever, you don't throw away the carton. You take the 6 eggs that are left. The problem is that the policy that Grants passed, the policy with the executive order, the troops in Portland and in D.C. is basically saying that because you're homeless, you're trash. And the thing is nobody stood up for anybody during any of these homeless sweeps, right? Basically, since, half, I don't know what the numbers are, but let's say half the people that are homeless are the people that are living in tent cities and things like that for whatever reason, right? And maybe they're the bad element. I don't know if they are. I don't think they are. I mean, there's bad people in, there's a segment of people, bad people everywhere, right? But, you're basically creating laws and rulings that affect an entire class of people because these 6 eggs were bad. We're going to make rules that apply to all 12 of the eggs, right? And we're going to throw all of them away. We're going to throw them in the trash and take it out to the dumpster. Like, we don't want any of them. And it just bothers me that people stand up for illegals. People stand up for, the war. Just the statement, war-ravaged. People are like up in arms, like, oh, that's terrible. I can't believe he said that. And yeah, it's pretty lame that he said that, but what about the homeless people, man? There are homeless people like me, people out there, good people that are stuck in this. And the other thing is, I hear it a lot that people tell me, like, this is homelessness. I will probably be homeless in a year. I'm headed that way. And the fact is, in America, homeless people are one crisis, 1 to 3 paychecks away from being homeless. If that's the case, why are we treating homeless people like garbage? Like they don't have any rights, like they're nothing. to me, that just doesn't make any sense. You would think that the American citizenry, maybe they're in doubt that it's going to come, or maybe they're just like, well, they're in denial, right? They're in denial, or they're just, I don't even know. I don't even know how to. So that's what I got to say about that. Who was it that posted this? When the mode of music changes, the walls of the city shakes. And basically, what that means is, it's based on one of Plato's writing, and basically, what it means is not just the music, but the rhythm of thought, the cadence of thought, of how we perceive things. When that changes, only can we affect change, right? So far, we're all still in this apathetic mode where we're like 100,000 people that are quitting their jobs because they're feeling pressure from Trump. Guess what's going to happen when they leave their jobs? Trump's going to put all these new people that are Trump lovers in his pocket all across the United States. And guess what happens then? Then we have a Trump state, a Trump country, right? And, some of you are Trump supporters, some aren't. The problem is these sort of policies that he's enacting are, I don't know, they're not targeting drug dealers, they're not targeting murderers or rapists or gangs or cartels or, organized crime. They're not targeting that. They're targeting Americans, and that's where I have the problem. That's where I have the problem. And so, I don't know, until we change our perspective, until we actually see it, until we start seeing, I guess, we as Americans, we always wait till the last moment, right? Like Pearl Harbor, we had to do that before. Pearl Harbor had to happen before we got involved in the war, because until then we were like, well, it doesn't really affect me, But once that happens, something serious like that happens, it becomes a serious thing, right? So I don't know. We'll see if that ever happens. I try to make videos. I try to make you guys aware of what's going on and try to talk about apathy. Honestly, there's not much that I can do. 56-year-old guy with some bad knees, bad back, and some other issues, and homeless, and chronically homeless, it looks like. And but I try to do what I can where I can. I guess that's all I got for you guys today. Watch some ads, buy some stuff in my shop, buy the book. I don't know, just I appreciate you guys being subscribers. Maybe become members, join the little deal down there, the join button, and just help me to keep this show alive, and me eating hot food, and maybe to get a new tent and a new tarp, and I think I'm good on the sleeping system. Anyway, I hope your road is a good one, and if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you. Peace out.